Is he right now, and we talked about in the pregame, is he number one on Norris ballots for you guys?
I don't know if he's number one, but he's in the mix. And that's saying something. You've got Makar, you've got Hughes, the usual suspects, but he's in the mix. But if we're going to look at his whole game, 200-foot game tonight, you'd have to definitely take him into serious consideration, because the Flyers are looking at backing up and breaking out of the zone, and Zach Werenski wasn't giving any ground whatsoever. He's strong on his skates. Yes, he's fluid, he's smooth, but he has so much strength. He was a man-child playing at University of Michigan. And that's just a little subtle move there, guys. Stick on puck. I mean, great hockey IQ. And then look at this quick little wrist shot right there, Hank. As a goaltender, you've got to be on your toes, because he doesn't need the big windup to get a lot of velocity on his shots.
Oh, I mean, during that clip, we saw everything that he mastered: the skating, the reads, stepping up on plays, making plays. So, yeah, to me, it's between Kale and Zach right now on the Norris. Both guys, I mean, they're having incredible years, so they both are worthy of that win, I think.
I think we can all agree that most of the time it just goes to the guy with the most points, or at least that's what people think. But the thing is, though, with you're looking at all four of these guys, they're also incredibly defensively, and they can put up those types of numbers. I think we can also agree, as far as the help that each of those guys gets, he gets the least amount of help. And maybe he's not as flashy as Quinn Hughes and Makar, and maybe it doesn't visibly look like they take over. He takes over the game as much because of the way Cale Makar skates and how he basically initiates the rush every shift. But I think for what he has to work with and the amount of goals that he scored, I think that he probably is neck and neck with Cale Makar right now. That's what I have. I know people in Colorado, they probably think I'm crazy, but I think a lot of people want to watch Colorado because they're just overall a more pleasant team to watch, probably the most fun team on ice right now. But you can't deny what Werenski's doing. I mean, the guy's probably going to finish with 25 to 30 goals as a D-man playing with that roster. That has to be at the top of your list.
But those guys are also playing on good teams. To your point, better teams around them. So what they always say, if your team has success, you've got individual success. I'm not sure if I'm giving a Norris Trophy to a player that's outside the playoffs.
Well, let's go hypothetical. They get into the playoffs.
Then 100%.
Then he's got to be right there, right?
100%.
Yeah.
Just like we were talking off camera about Macklin Celebrini for the MVP. If San Jose gets in the postseason, I'm giving him the MVP. Like, if he's playing the way he's playing right now.
And I think that if you take Werenski out of their lineup 1,000%, they're not even close to playoffs. Whereas the other guys, I would assume that each of their teams make playoffs. Maybe Moritz Seider, you can make that argument with Detroit and what he's been able to do, shutting down top lines as well as producing offense. But Quinn Hughes, I mean, he just got to Minnesota, and then Cale Makar. I mean, that team's a wagon. But we're not denying what they bring to the table and their skill and the fact that each of those guys could win it. I just think what Werenski's doing with the group at hand is ridiculous.
Would he be doing that on a better team, though, too? Because maybe a better team might ask less of him.
Yeah.
If he had more weapons around him. So maybe he's forced to do that because he doesn't have the weapons around him.
Yeah, I mean, I just look at pure goal-scoring ability, the way that he's able to snipe as ahead of any of those other guys right there. But, I mean, that's a good point, Ace. I mean, when you have a team like Colorado, when you have, Burns there, Malinsky, who's been playing incredible, Taves, where you pair him up with Makar, there's a lot more guys to snap the ice time around to. You see Werenski there in that 25, 26-minute range. It's like each and every night you're leaning on him. But that's more reason for me to say there's no way for him to escape. He's getting those hard matchups. As you saw tonight, he was on the ice for a lot of goals for, but against, because he's having to play against the Konechny line. So it works really against him in most of those cases.